Forget New Year, New You. This season is about slowing down, locking the doors, and cozying up at home with the one you really want to do nothing with. Your dog. After the holiday chaos, those quiet nights with a blanket, a podcast, and your pup feel like the reset you actually need. Ollie helps make those moments easier with fresh protein-packed meals made from real human-grade ingredients, so your dog can enjoy some quality comfort food too. Choose from 5 recipes and get a personalized plan for your dog's needs. Meals arrive perfectly proportioned with a scoop and storage container, so serving is fast and mess-free. And with Ollie's in-app on-demand health screenings, supporting your dog is easy, ensuring more cuddles for many years to come. Visit ollie.com/truecrime and use code TRUECRIME for 60% off your first box.
This episode of the Court Junkie podcast is brought to you by Sabta, the best way to find your new home. Sabta, SABTA.com.
Did you kill baby Gabriel?
She thinks she's smarter than everybody else. I think that's kind of what she's going with right now. She doesn't talk. She thinks everything is just going to go away.
I do deserve the maximum. I do.
Hi, my name is Jillian, and you are listening to episode 3 of the Court Junkie podcast. In my last 2 episodes, I covered the Melissa Kaluzinski case, and today I'm going to switch things up a bit to talk about the case of a missing child and a mother whose actions will make your head spin. This case begins in December 2009 in Tempe, Arizona, and it starts off with a custody battle between 2 young parents who just ended a very volatile relationship. 23-year-old Elizabeth Johnson and her ex-boyfriend, 25-year-old Logan McQueary, were frequently going to court over the custody of their 8-month-old son, Gabriel. Logan was petitioning for full custody. He and Elizabeth had broken up in early December, and he had recently moved his stuff out of their trailer. In his court filing, he claimed that Elizabeth had told him several times that she didn't really want Gabriel. He said she would scream and yell at the child, and when he would go to work, he would come home to Gabriel right where he left him. His diaper would be dirty, and he would be crying. He said he would ask Elizabeth what she was doing, and she would just yell and tell him to go shut that thing up. At the time of the filing, Logan and Elizabeth were sharing joint custody, with Logan getting him from Sunday mornings to Wednesday mornings. On December 18th, Logan called Elizabeth to arrange picking up Gabriel on that following Sunday. Elizabeth told him that he would never see Gabriel again. He had no idea that that would turn out to be true. When that Sunday rolled around, Logan showed up at Elizabeth's trailer, but there was no sign of either one of them. Both Elizabeth and Gabriel were gone. Logan notified police. 1 week later, on December 27th, Logan received a horrifying text message from Elizabeth that read, "I killed him." Logan immediately called Elizabeth, and she told him that she had killed Gabriel and that she had suffocated him, stuffed him in a diaper bag, and put him in a dumpster. Logan recorded the phone call.
Because I suffocated them. I'm almost out and I suffocated them and he turned blue. Because I put them in a diaper bag and I put them in the trash.
Where are you? Where's Gabriel?
The goal that I killed him this morning.
What?
I killed him this morning.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
Logan took the text message and phone conversation recording to police, who opened up an investigation into Elizabeth and Gabriel's whereabouts. Meanwhile, Logan continued receiving text messages from Elizabeth saying, "You are a pathetic loser. You made me kill my baby boy." And, "You will never find me. I'm already boarding a plane out of the country. When I'm safe, I'll email you the exact location of dead Gabriel's little blue body, if the garbage don't come first." Another one read, "This is what liars like you deserve." On December 29th, Elizabeth updated her MySpace page. Her post read, "Kiss my ass, suckas," and her mood was marked as adventurous. Police were able to track Elizabeth's cell phone to Florida, and on December 30th, Elizabeth was taken into custody in Miami Beach. Gabriel was not with her. Elizabeth was arrested and charged with kidnapping, custodial interference, and child abuse, which was later dropped. She was held on $1 million cash bail. Everyone was frantic to find out where Gabriel was. Everybody but Elizabeth, that is. Had she really killed him and dumped him in the trash like she had said? After her arrest, Elizabeth changed her story and told the FBI that she and Gabriel had traveled to San Antonio, Texas, and that she had given Gabriel away to a couple she had met in the park. Her only description of the couple was that they were middle-aged, white, of general height and weight, and that they seemed like good people. She said she then took a bus to Florida, and she provided no other details about the couple and said she had no idea where Gabriel was. While Elizabeth sat in jail, it seems like the rest of the world was out looking for her son. On January 19th, 2010, Tempe police released to the public new photos of Gabriel, taken from a camera Elizabeth had on her at the time of her arrest. One photo showed Gabriel seemingly lethargic and holding what appears to be a medicine bottle. Police searched a landfill by a hotel in San Antonio where Elizabeth had been staying, and Crime Stoppers offered an award of $5,000 for any info leading to his whereabouts. It wasn't long in the investigation before police came across a couple named Jack and Tammy Smith, also from Tempe, who they learned had been trying to adopt Gabriel from Elizabeth prior to Gabriel's disappearance. They seemed desperate to adopt him, in fact. They even had him for an entire week in early December, but said they had to give him back due to Logan having joint custody. This definitely sent up red flags to police. Investigators went to the Smiths' home and interviewed them on December 27th. According to Tammy, she and Elizabeth had randomly met over the summer at the Tempe airport. They spoke about Tammy adopting Gabriel, and then after some time had passed, Elizabeth called Tammy to allegedly take her up on her offer. The problem, Tammy said, was that Logan was not on board with the adoption. Tammy said the last time she had seen Gabriel was on December 18th at a local church prior to Elizabeth leaving town with him. She went to visit Elizabeth in prison 2 weeks after Elizabeth's arrest, and she spoke with reporters in the parking lot afterwards.
I looked in her eyes and I can tell you that baby is alive. According to Elizabeth, these people are going to try to hide this baby.
Police publicly called the Smiths persons of interest in the case and thoroughly investigated them. Their house was searched, their phone records and financial statements were examined, and what police found was interesting, but would it lead to Gabriel? Police arrested Tammy on February 2nd, 2010, on charges of forgery and conspiracy to commit custodial interference in the case. Investigators alleged that Tammy had forged her cousin's name as a potential father on a custody document that she and Elizabeth had drawn up. The hope was that it would challenge Logan's paternity as the father of Gabriel, since Logan would not agree to giving Gabriel up to the Smiths for adoption. Tammy went to trial for the forgery and custodial interference charges and was found guilty. She was sentenced to 2 30-day sentences, but to this day, she claims she has no idea of the whereabouts of Gabriel. Getting Elizabeth to trial wasn't easy. She refused to help investigators find Gabriel, and she also refused to help her attorneys with her case. She had more than 7 evaluations by psychologists, all of whom had differing opinions involving her competency to stand trial. And not only that, but in April 2010, Elizabeth actually had to be moved from general population to the psychiatric ward after assaulting 2 other inmates by spraying cleaning products into their eyes. Logan, as well as the prosecutors in the case, felt like Elizabeth was playing the system. Logan told reporters she's being a coward and making the case all about her. 1 year before her trial, her attorney at the time, Daniel Raynack, told the judge that not once has she talked about a single fact of the case. Never have I had anyone with a complete lack of inability to focus in on what matters. The judge ordered her mentally unfit for trial twice, but each time said that he believed that she could be rehabilitated. And by September 2012, he felt like she was ready to go. Elizabeth's trial began on September 20th, 2012, at the Maricopa County Superior Court, the same court where Jodi Arias was tried. And by this time, Elizabeth had gone through more than 7 attorneys. Prosecutor Elisa Ramuno told jurors during her opening statement that Elizabeth was upset that Logan had broken up with her and that she used Gabriel as a pawn to get back at him. Elizabeth's attorney, Mark Victor, told the jury during his opening statements that he wouldn't refute many of the facts put forward by the prosecution, but that he would show that the state was unable to prove the charges against his client. Logan testified for the state and talked about his volatile relationship with Elizabeth. He said they fought a lot and often broke up and then got back together. He told the jury that one time she just took Gabriel and left to go live in Boston with her grandmother without ever telling Logan she was leaving. He said that when she returned home, she brought up the idea of giving Gabriel up for adoption, but Logan didn't want to, something that they argued about often. Logan testified about a number of bizarre instances where Elizabeth had been acting erratically. On December 8th, about 3 weeks before Gabriel's disappearance, Elizabeth told Logan to leave their trailer home in Tempe where they lived and to take Gabriel because she didn't want him around. Logan said he took the boy to his grandmother's house. Elizabeth then called the police and told them that Logan had kidnapped him, so he had to return home. And that day was the last time he had ever seen his son. Logan also testified about an incident that happened in September. Elizabeth showed up to his job at the 99-cents only store, screaming and yelling, trying to get him to sign adoption papers, until eventually the police had to be called. Once the police arrived, Elizabeth claimed that she didn't know where Gabriel was and that Logan had him. Police investigated Gabriel's whereabouts for about 7 or 8 hours, and then Logan received a call from them later that night, letting him know that Gabriel had been found and that he was safe. Text messages between Elizabeth and Tammy Smith were entered into evidence at trial. One conversation was from when Elizabeth was on the run in San Antonio. Tammy asks her to come home, saying that they can talk about it over a bottle of wine. Elizabeth says, "It's too late for me," and that she can't come back. She wrote, "I won't go to jail. I'd rather die. Plus, you can get charged with aiding and abetting." Tammy then says that police had seen a message from Elizabeth saying that she had killed Gabriel. She asks to hear his voice. Elizabeth says, "I texted Logan to get back at him." Messages between Elizabeth and Logan were also read out loud in court from December 2009. In those messages, Elizabeth tells Logan that she will fight for full custody of Gabriel because she has financially supported him without any help and that Logan doesn't have a job or a place to live. She also told him that she's not even sure that he's the father because she had slept with several other guys. Logan responded that he never cheated on her and that it was messed up that she was sleeping with other guys. He said that Gabriel is his son no matter what the DNA test says, and that Elizabeth doesn't care about Gabriel as much as he does. He told her that she would leave Gabriel alone for hours so that she wouldn't have to listen to him fuss. The prosecution then played a jailhouse recording of Elizabeth speaking on the phone with her grandfather and with Tammy. A reporter was in the background with Tammy. Elizabeth repeats the story of having given Gabriel to a couple she met at a park in San Antonio. She said she had been crying and was a wreck and that the couple approached her to see if she was all right. She told them her story and they started talking about adoption. She said the couple later came and picked up Gabriel at her hotel. She said all she knew was that the woman's name was Cheryl, and she said that because it was a closed adoption, she thought she wasn't supposed to know their names. She said, "I was an emotional wreck and I made a hasty decision," and that she now regrets it. She said that after giving up Gabriel to the couple in San Antonio, she dumped the car her grandpa had lent her, took a bus to Florida, got a full-time job under a new name, and planned to start a new life without Gabriel and away from Logan. When the reporter got on the phone and asked why Elizabeth had texted Logan that she had killed Gabriel, Elizabeth said that Logan had ruined her life and hurt her, and so she wanted to hurt him. When asked if she cared whether or not Gabriel was alive or dead, Elizabeth said she didn't care, one way or another. Investigators testified at the trial that they were unable to corroborate Elizabeth's story about a couple having picked up Gabriel from her hotel in San Antonio. They couldn't find any witnesses, and when they checked surveillance videos from the area, they only saw Elizabeth on the footage. There is video of Elizabeth at a local Ross department store purchasing a backpack and also at a nearby liquor store buying a bottle of liquor. They found a witness who said he saw Elizabeth checking into the hotel with Gabriel on December 26th, but he didn't witness her checking out. A surveillance camera outside that same hotel showed Elizabeth getting onto a bus without Gabriel on December 27th. Investigators testified that they searched dumpsters and landfills in the area of the hotel, but that they didn't find anything. No sign of Gabriel and no sign of the mysterious couple. Investigators did find a witness named Annalisa from San Antonio who said that she answered a Craigslist ad for a babysitter in December 2009. She went to the Homegate Studios and Suites, the hotel where Elizabeth was staying. She said that the hotel room was dirty and that there was a large butcher's knife on the nightstand next to the bed. She testified that when she asked what she would need to do for the baby, she says Elizabeth told her that she had already drugged him up with medicine, but that if he started crying, just to give him some more to shut him up. She said that Elizabeth paid her $40 and that she babysat Gabriel for about 2.5 hours. She did not know where Elizabeth had gone. On the final day of the state's case, Elizabeth abruptly left the courtroom after telling the judge that, "I really don't feel like I can be here." Her attorney told the judge that she felt like she would be too emotional for the testimony scheduled for that day. Judge Joseph Kramer allowed her to leave and told the jury that they could not use it against her. The state then played 2 recordings, one between Elizabeth and Logan, where she tells Logan that he made her do it and that he, quote unquote, knows what she's capable of, and the other, a jailhouse call between her and Tammy from January 22nd, 2010, where Elizabeth accuses Tammy of having orchestrated the alleged adoption with the couple in San Antonio.
We don't know what to believe, and we've told people, though, over and over that we believe that that baby's alive, and we believe that you did what you said, found the family and gave them the baby.
Yeah, you set it all up. They were your friends.
No, they weren't.
Yes.
Then who are they? Then what's their names if they're my friends?
I don't know. You set it all up in San Antonio. You told me to go to a shelter and pretend like I was being beat.
No, I told you instead of running and hiding and changing your identity, go to a shelter. Don't just go run and hide your identity. What is illegal? What was
Everything
illegal?
you told me to do from the very beginning was illegal. Lying about the paternity of the fatherhood, putting your cousin's name and number.
Okay, that wasn't, in my mind, that wasn't anything illegal. That was me helping you fill out your paperwork. Just so you know, we will be suing you. We will be suing you.
For what?
So, no. For what?
What did I do to you?
Destroying our lives. For destroying our lives with your lies and by keeping your mouth shut.
I didn't tell you any lies.
Well,
you ruined my life. From the very beginning, I trusted you and believed you, and you're totally not the person that you said you were.
Elizabeth, you have destroyed our lives.
Dr. Patricia Ramirez of the Tempe Police Department testified that Elizabeth's story continuously changed. She said that Elizabeth first said that she killed Gabriel, then that she gave him away to a couple at a hotel, then that she gave Gabriel away to a couple at a park, and then that she gave Gabriel away to a couple that the Smiths knew and had arranged for. Elizabeth did not testify at trial. The trial lasted a total of 8 days, with 6 days of testimony, including 29 witnesses called by the prosecution and 0 witnesses called by the defense. The jury deliberated for about a day and a half, and on October 18th, the verdict was in.
As to count 1 kidnapping, the verdict form is blank. Verdict as to count 1, lesser included. Having found the defendant not guilty of kidnapping, or, after full and careful consideration of the facts, being unable to agree on whether to find the defendant guilty or not guilty of kidnapping, we, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn in the above entitled action upon our oaths, do find the defendant, Elizabeth Johnson, as to the offense of unlawful imprisonment, guilty. We further find that this offense is a domestic violence offense.
The jury announced that they had failed to reach a verdict on the most serious charge against her, kidnapping. And so instead, they convicted her of a lesser count of unlawful imprisonment. They also found her guilty of custodial interference and conspiracy to commit custodial interference. But the conviction of the lesser charge would mean that Elizabeth would get significantly less jail time. In fact, she was only eligible for 9.5 years in prison. At sentencing, Elizabeth shocked the courtroom by saying that she thought she deserved the max sentence.
What I have done is, unconscionable. What I have done is just, it's unbelievable. And it's not really anything I can say for myself because I'm sitting there and I'm seeing it all. And I would convict myself, I'm watching everything and it is horrible. I don't know. So I don't know what to say to you. I see how, I do deserve the maximum. I do.
Judge Kramer said he took into account her troubled childhood and mental instability, and that he agreed with the psychologist who had testified that she needs treatment. He said, her chances to succeed are increased if she gets treatment. There's no doubt about it. The judge said he did have to give her prison time, though, given the fact that Gabriel was still missing. He sentenced her to 5.25 years, and she would receive credit for time already served, meaning that she would be free in about 2 years. On July 11th, 2014, Elizabeth was released from prison in Perryville. Her attorney, Mark Victor, told reporters that Elizabeth was happy to be out, excited about her future, and optimistic about how things are going to go for her. It's hard to imagine a mother being happy and excited about her future when she doesn't know where her child is. So maybe she does know where her child is. Maybe she really did give Gabriel away, thinking that he would be in a better place than with her or with Logan. Logan's family hired a private investigator named Ken Gamble from Australia, and Ken has said publicly that he believes Gabriel is still alive and that the Smiths helped orchestrate an adoption in San Antonio. It's not really that far-fetched. Ken says his theory is that Jack and Tammy made extensive plans to move Gabriel out of the state and instructed Elizabeth where to go. He said he pored over the Smiths' phone records and saw a lot of phone activity from Jack Smith to one of his relatives in Nashville on the morning of December 27th, the very day Elizabeth says she went to the park to give Gabriel away. He's convinced that those relatives in Nashville were involved in Gabriel's disappearance. He also said that there were 2 occasions where, while Elizabeth was on the phone with Tammy, Jack was on the phone with his relatives in Nashville, indicating that a high level of planning was going on. And rumor does have it that one of the hotels where Elizabeth stayed in San Antonio is actually known for illegal or underground adoptions. If this is true, that means that Gabriel is out there somewhere, possibly living life with a family who doesn't want him to know where he came from. And that's actually not a bad thought, considering the alternative. San Antonio's lead detective on the case reportedly believes that Gabriel is dead and that Elizabeth harmed him. During a jailhouse interview with a detective in 2010, Elizabeth allegedly made another confession, saying that she had murdered Gabriel. That confession wasn't admissible in court, though, because that detective had illegally obtained it. She was medicated at the time and her attorneys weren't present. It's one of those frustrating cases where we might not ever know what happened to Gabriel. And if you think it's frustrating for us, imagine how it must be for Logan. Earlier this year, in March 2016, Elizabeth was arrested in New Mexico for violating her parole. The state alleged that she violated it in 4 different ways: failing to report law enforcement contact, failing to get written approval before associating with a known felon, failing to get written permission to travel out of the state, and failing to notify the court that she was getting married. While in court for the violation, Elizabeth admitted that she had left New Mexico, her new state of residence, without permission in July 2015. Assistant Maricopa County Attorney Angela Andrews argued for the judge to sentence Elizabeth to jail, saying that she was insubordinate with no respect for her probation. She said that when Elizabeth left New Mexico, she was actually visiting a woman she had met in prison, meaning that she was hanging out with the felon. Andrews also read a letter that Logan had written. He said that he had been stripped of the chance to see his son grow up with other children, and that complete strangers seemed to care more about Gabriel's whereabouts than Elizabeth. He said, "I personally don't believe she has felt remorse or changed her ways." Elizabeth's attorney told the judge that Elizabeth is now a successful car saleswoman in New Mexico and that she is taking classes full-time. She has also since gotten married. Elizabeth spoke directly to the judge. She said, "It has been a struggle for me the last few years. I understand that I need to do better, and I'm doing better. In the past 6 months, I believe I've overcome a lot of personal issues. I'm sorry." The judge ordered Elizabeth to spend 7 days in jail before being released on April 21st. Her probation was reinstated, although she now wears an electronic monitor. She will continue to be on probation until July 26, 2018. To this day, there have been no signs of Gabriel. His picture remains on the National Center for Exploited and Missing Children website, and he would be 7 years old today. If you have any info about Gabriel's whereabouts, please call the San Antonio Police Department at 210-207-7660 or simply call 911. And that does it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Please check out courtjunkie.com for more interesting court cases, unsolved crimes, and missing persons cases. And if you like this podcast, please subscribe and leave us a review. And if you really like us, please consider donating at patreon.com/courtjunkie. Any donations will go towards the cost of the show, hosting, production, and even travel so I can actually attend trials and hearings and report back to you guys. A special thanks goes out to our sponsor, Sabta, the best way to find your new home. Sabta, SABTA.com. If you have any feedback, please feel free to email me at courtjunkie.blog@gmail.com or visit courtjunkie.com/podcast. Thank you.